Namaste, fellow sisters. Welcome to your practice this month. Manipura, the solar plexus chakra, the city of jewels as it's translated as. Since you already had a week of this chakra, I'm sure you're already aware that it's about fire, it's about power, transformation. So in our practice this month, we're going to be flowing, creating movement, creating heat, fire, energy. We'll be doing some strength work through this region. We'll also be adding in some twists because of the digestive aspect. This chakra is related to the digestion in the physical body. So thinking of when you rinse out a dish rag and all the water that comes out. So it's the same kind of idea when we're twisting. We're having this wringing out sensation of our digestive organs. So when we untwist, it allows all the fresh oxygenated blood back into those organs. So that is really great for our digestive system. So we'll be adding some of those in. Let's get started. I'd like you to start in a comfortable seat. So you may like to have your props handy. I'm going to sit up on my knees. I'm going to sit on a block. We're going to start with some pranayama, some breath work, which is called Kapalabhati or skull shining breath. And this is a great way to create some heat and fire, just to start with. So basically with Kapalabhati breath, we inhale to our belly and then it's a sharp exhale through the nose. So I'll just give you an example so you have an idea of what we'll be doing. So if you've never done this breath, I'm going to offer you to actually exhale out through your lips to start with before you move to your nose. Now you might like to have a hand in front of your belly to help guide the exhale back in. And now you don't really need to inhale as such because as the belly expands, you'll automatically take air in. So let's just get started, hand to belly or not, up to you. Take an inhale, feel your belly, and then sharp exhale. Out through the lips. If you're a beginner, this is the first time for you to do it. Full exhale. Inhale fully. And out. Now you can go slower than that, you can go faster than that. It's really a personal choice and what you feel comfortable with. But we're going to go for 30 seconds. Okay, so if you're doing it out through your lips and then you start to feel comfortable and you want to go out through your nose, go for it. If you want to keep with your lips, do that. If you want to keep your hand here the whole time, do that. If you don't want to, up to you. Okay, so you work out how it best suits you. But if you can have your eyes closed, that would be preferable. Take an inhale and then begin. And then full release, inhale, full exhale. We're going to go another round of 30 seconds. And just notice if your shoulders are moving up and down. See if you can allow it to be predominantly from the abdomen, not from your shoulders. Your shoulders aren't really moving, it's really just your abdomen in and out, in and out. Okay? Face is also relaxed. If you're trying to concentrate, often we're like scrunching our face, so try not to do that. So close the eyes down. We're going to go 30 seconds again. Full breath in. And then exhale. And release. Full breath in and full breath out. And we're going to go one more round of 30 seconds. I'm going to go a little bit faster. You can too, you don't have to. Remember, you make it appropriate for you and where you're at. All right, eyes closed down, big breath in. And off you go. And release. Breath in. And out. Open the eyes. And I forgot to mention, you might want to blow your nose before you do this, because you might find a lot of snot comes out, which is totally fine. I actually blew my nose before I did this, so I already knew what was coming. So maybe next time you practice this, make sure you blow your nose first, just so you get everything out to clear the passageways, and then go to Kapalabhati. All right, let's come down onto our backs. I'd like you to have a block, or remember you can have a book, but something light preferably. We're going to just start to create a bit more fire. So you're going to pop the block or book or whatever you have between your ankles, okay? Now obviously, if it's heavy, you've got to be careful, you don't want it to fall down and hit you, okay? So squeezing really hard with your feet so you keep that block or whatever you've got in place. Flex your feet, toes towards you and heels towards the sky. Now, pop your hands to the insides of your hips, those frontal hip points, those bones at the front of the pelvis. Place your hands to the inside. And then go ahead and lift the pelvic floor and try and hug those two bones at the front of your pelvis towards each other. Now they're not going to move, but you should feel the engagement under your fingers of your muscles. Now see if you can keep that, and then inhale, lower the legs, say about a third of the way, and then exhale back up. Inhale, lower, keep the engagement underneath your fingers, back up. Now keep going here. If you want to pop the hands to your sides, palms down, go for it. Now, there'll be a little arch in your lower back, but if it starts to arch severely away from the floor, that means you've gone a little bit too far. But if you're comfortable going lower, go for it. You might even want to hover the feet above the floor and then come up. For me, that's a little bit too much, so I'm going to stick to about a third. Keep the shoulders down to the floor. And keep those front ribs in. That's another indication. If they're popping out, that you've probably gone a little bit too far for you. If you need to check the engagement of those muscles, your core muscles under your fingers and the inner hip points, go for it. You're here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, keep hugging the block in, 3, 2, and 1. Release your block down, hug your knees in, little rock from side to side, and then come on up, roll up and back on your spine, and up and over to all fours. Let's take a few rounds of cat and cow. Stack shoulders over wrists, hips over knees. Inhale, pull the heart forward, belly drops down. And then exhale, go ahead and round. Inhale, pull it through. And then round. 3 more. Any intuitive movement you want to add in, please be my guest. Listen to your body. And what is it telling you today? Not just moving on autopilot, but actually tuning in, feeling how the body's doing in this very moment. Then come to neutral when you finish your rounds. Tuck your toes, downward facing dog. So again, maybe a bit of intuitive movement. Let's go 2 breaths to do so. Then finding yourself in your down dog. Inhale, come forward to plank pose. Have your legs real strong. Press to your heels and press the floor away from you. Hug your arms in. Take an inhale. Back to down dog. Same thing, inhale, rock forward to plank. Fire up your thighs. Back to down dog, breath out. 2 more. Ripple forward, arms hug in, press back. Last one. Long through the back of the neck. Then go ahead and walk your way to the top of the mat. Feet hip width, knees bent, dangle forward from the hips. Ragdoll, maybe a little shake from side to side. And then keeping the knees soft, start to curl your way up vertebrae by vertebrae. Reach the arms out and up. Pull the hands down. We're going to start with our sun salutations, 3 rounds. Inhale, let's reach up. And then forward fold as we breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. And then step back to your plank pose. Knees down or not, depends how strong you're feeling today. Engage those muscles between the hip bones like we did on our back. Heart forward, breath in. Let's go all the way down, breath out. Cobra pose, inhale, press the feet, lift up. Let's go baby cobra. Back down, breath out. 2 more to get our back warmed up. Inhale, curl up, elbows hug in. To the earth, breath out. Last one, inhale. Maybe press up a little higher if you feel okay to do so. Then press back, downward facing dog. Breath in, come to the balls of the feet. Bend the knees, breath out. And then step, top of the mat. Halfway lift, inhale. And then forward fold as you breathe out. Come up, inhale, press through your feet, reach to the sky. And refold as you breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale, maybe hands to shins. Back to plank pose, breath out, knees down or not. Inhale, chest forward, belly strong. And all the way down, breath out. Cobra pose, inhale, press the tops of the feet, elbows hug in. Downward dog, exhale. Tippy toes. Bend your knees. Step, or if you want to jump to the top of the mat, go for it. Halfway lift. And then fold yourself in half. Come on up, inhale. We're heading back down, breath out. Halfway lift. Back to plank. Inhale, hug the arms in, press the floor away. All the way down, breath out. 1 cobra pose, press the feet, lift the thighs off the floor. Downward dog, back. Tippy toes. Bend your knees. Step or little hop, top of the mat. Halfway lift. And then refold. Come on up, inhale. And hands down to your heart. Let's move on. Inhale, reach up. Forward fold as you breathe out. Halfway lift, inhale. And then refold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Inhale, come on up. Sit back and down. So it's kind of like you're sitting in a chair. You don't want your knees to go forward. Like when you find it, when you're trying to sit in a chair, your butt bones, they go back. So you're trying to find the seat of the chair, imagine that. You're like, where is the chair? Where is the chair? Sink back. And then zip up your belly. Think of a vacuum cleaner in your lower back. And it's sucking your belly back towards your spine. Reach through your arms. Really press through your heels. You should start to feel your glutes, your butt muscles switch on and say, hey, I'm here. Let's bring the hands to our heart. We're going to take a breath in and revolve to the right. So you might hover your elbow in space, or maybe you connect your left elbow with the outer right knee. You sure don't have to. Hover if that's better for you. Think shoulder heads back. And then we're going to keep the hands in prayer. Inhale, stork pose. Let's lift the left leg up. So press through your standing leg. Keep that vacuum cleaner in your lower back. Suction in your belly. Stay for your inhale. Aeroplane pose. Reach that left leg back. And keep your hands at heart. Or you can reach them out behind you, like you're flying. Up to you. But you might bring your hands to your hips and you might need to even out your pelvis so your frontal hip points are parallel to the floor. And then on your next breath in, let's step back to crescent lunge. Reach the arms up. So hips forward, hug the legs into the midline, descend your tailbone and lower belly. Now imagine your pelvis is set in concrete, so it's not going to move. We're going to take water wiggles. So take a breath in, twist to the right. But the twisting is coming from your upper back, not your pelvis. So it might mean you don't twist very far. That is totally okay. Shoulder blades down the back. Let's go back to crescent. Inhale, sweep the back arm up and around. Hands to the floor. Step back to plank pose. And then come down. Elbows hug the ribcage. Cobra pose, inhale. If you want to take upward facing dog here, you're welcome to. So that means your arms are straight. You're pressing madly through the tops of the feet and the thighs lift off the floor. If this is not okay for you, stick with cobra. Downward facing dog. Let's press back. Come to tippy toes. Bend the knees. Step or jump to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. And then forward fold. Chair pose. Inhale, come up. Sit back and down into that imaginary chair. You're like, where is that chair? I can't find it. Sit a little lower. And then hands to your heart, breath in. Revolve to the left. So either hover or make contact with the right elbow to outer left knee. But keep sinking your butt bones back and down. Hands stay in prayer. Inhale, stalk. Right leg goes up. Aeroplane, breath out. Remember, hands can reach behind or keep them in prayer. Maybe a little check of the pelvis. You might need to roll that right hip down. Strong through your back leg. On your next inhale, step back to crescent. Take a moment to land. Hug your outer hips in. Press through your left heel and feel your left butt cheek switch on. Yeah, should feel firing on, hopefully. Now remember, our pelvis is set in concrete, so it's not going to move. Take an inhale. Water wheel to the left. Twist to the left. Remember, it's not about how far you go. I'm quite tight in my upper back, so I can't go heaps far even myself. Let's go back to crescent. Inhale. Hands to floor, plank pose. Lower all the way down. Cobra or upward facing dog, your choice. Downward facing dog, breath out. If you want to skip those little vinyasas where we take plank And then cobra, you're welcome to just come down into downward facing dog. Tippy toes, bend the knees, step or jump to the top of the mat. Halfway lift, and then fold. Chair pose, we're here again. Inhale, come up. Take a sit. So we're going to do the same thing as what we just did. We're just going to add on though. So let's sit low. Hands to your heart as you inhale. Twist to your right, revolve chair. Think broad collarbones here. And then inhale, stork pose. Left leg goes up. Aeroplane, exhale, reach back. Hands reach or not. Strong through your left leg. And then on your next inhale, let's go back to crescent. And land. Take a full breath in, hug the inner thighs together. And then water wheel around to the right. Inhale, reach your left hand forward, like you want to shake someone's hand. You reach, and then hook the elbow to the outside of the front knee, hands in prayer, revolve, crescent lunge. Now, you can totally take the back knee down. You might not make contact with the elbow and the knee. You might just be upward like this. Great option. Honor your body. Shoulder heads back. And then one last breath here. Crescent lunge, inhale. Warrior two, breath out. Come on down. And then let's reverse our warrior. Inhale, sweep up and behind. And then hands to the floor. Step to plank. Lower all the way down. Remember, you can skip this and take down dog. Back bend of your choice, cobra or up dog. Downward facing dog. Tippy toes. Bend the knees. Step or jump. Halfway lift. And then refold. Come on up, inhale. Oh, chair, sorry. Chair, almost missed that. All right, sit back and down. Hands to your heart, inhale. Revolve to the left, revolve chair. Think back and down with your butt bones like you're still trying to find the seat of the chair. And then inhale, stork pose, right leg comes up. Aeroplane, send it back. Even out the pelvis. Think sternum forward. Crescent lunge, inhale. Land as you breathe out. Hug the outer hips in. Big breath in. Water wheel to the left. And then reach that front arm forward like you want to shake someone's hand. You reach. Hook it to the outer knee. Hands in prayer, revolve crescent. Take your modifications as is necessary. Let's go back to crescent. Inhale. Warrior two. Come on down. Press through the outer edge of back foot. Reverse. Hands to floor. Plank. Come on down. Hug the arms in. Cobra or up dog. Downward dog. Tiptoes. Bend the knees. Step or jump top of the mat. Halfway lift. And fold. Chair pose. Coming up. And sink. Hands to heart as you inhale. Let's go revolve to the right. Stork, inhale, left leg goes up. Aeroplane as you breathe out. Crescent lunge, inhale. Water wheel as you exhale. Reach forward, inhale. Revolve crescent, exhale. Remember Remember to modify. If you want to go a little bit stronger, you might open your arms here. Otherwise, not. Your call. Let's go back up to crescent. Inhale. Warrior two, breath out. Reverse as you breathe in. Extended side angle. Forearm to thigh. Reach the left arm up and over. You can have your bottom hand to a block, to the outer edge of your front foot. Hug the right hip into the midline and keep madly pressing through the outer edge of your back foot. Full breath in. Let's go left hand to the floor. Spin onto the ball of your back foot. So you square your hips to the mat and then reach your right arm up to the sky. So we come into a low twist. You can drop the back knee down if you prefer. Full breath in. We're going to step back to side plank. So you might come onto the outer edge of your back foot, stack the right foot on top, side plank, or drop your bottom knee down and extend through your top leg. Hug the navel back to spine, think shoulders down the back, full breath in. And then plank pose, lower down, cobra or up dog, that friend of choice, and downward facing dog. Tiptoes, bend your knees, top of the mat, halfway lift, and fold. Chair pose, coming up, and sink down. Hands to the heart, revolve to the left. Stork, inhale, right leg up. Aeroplane. Crescent lunge, inhale. Water wheel to the left. Reach the front arm forward. Revolve crescent, hands in prayer. Modify as you need. Let's go back to crescent. Inhale. Warrior two. Reverse it. Extended side angle. Use a block or not. For that bottom shoulder, it might want to pop forward. Let's not let that happen. Let's roll it back and down and lift out of that shoulder. Last inhale. And then top hand down to the mat. Turn to the ball of your back foot. Left arm to sky. Remember, you can take your back knee down. Think broad collarbones. Last breath here. And then side plank. So remember, you could go modified. Keep that bottom knee down. Or maybe you're stacking your feet. But think strong legs, hips up. Bottom shoulder, it might want to pop forward again, but you don't let it, you roll it back and down. Big breath in. And then let's go back to downward dog. Let's take child's pose. Knees wide, buttocks back to your heels, reach the arms and forehead to mat. Or you can even stack your fists forehead to fist, or even use a block or a blanket. Let the breath settle. You got one more breath here. And then slowly press yourself up. Pop the block to the side. Now we're going to wind down or finish with a yin pose. So It's the stomach and the spleen meridian line that is connected to the Manipura, mental blank. So we're going to take saddle pose. Now this can be quite strong for some, so this is where you might really like to use your props. I'll give you a couple options. Now I'll show you what it's going to look like just so you have a bit of an idea. So I've set up, I've got a block in my bolster. And actually I might use my blanket. I'm just going to fold that up in like 3 and put it on top of my bolster to give me a bit more height. Now I'm going to sit down in front of the bolster. My feet are out to the sides. So my heels are hugging into my outer hips. Lift up and then slowly lower back. So we access through the front of the thighs, through the pelvis and the front of the torso, which is activating the spleen and the stomach meridian line. Now, I understand this is quite difficult, especially for things like knees. So you may like to take half saddle, which is 1 at a time. You may like to have something underneath your bottom to help with your back. So I could even put like the blanket here. And then come back. Or if this is really just not working for you, you can see it's called Caesar. So it's sitting up on your knees, preferably sitting on something. So for example, I could sit on this bolster. This is Caesar pose. And you're still accessing the front line here. So set yourself up. We're going to be here for a couple minutes. As usual, I would ideally like you to be in it for at least 5 minutes. If you are doing half saddle, just be mindful that you want to do even amounts of time on both sides. So I'm going to come on back into my saddle. And then when you've got yourself settled, close your eyes. If you've got an eye pillow or something, you could use that over your eyes. Remember the difference between, say, vinyasa or a hatha yoga practice and yin is that vinyasa or hatha are engaging the muscles, it's much more active, whereas yin is a release, it's a letting go. We're not engaging our muscles at all. And that's why we stay for longer amounts of time, because it takes that much time for us to be able to actually relax into it and for these meridian lines to be affected. And please, if you have longer, please stay. I really encourage you to do so. If you're coming out, you want to come out real slow. We don't want to have any fast movement. And then come to sit with your legs out for a moment. Hands in prayer at your heart.